This is Dr. Joshua Reichert, Associate Faculty in the Forbes School of Business and Technology at Ashford University, and this is the Week 2 overview for the course Management 415, Group Behavior in Organizations. This week we have 2 learning outcomes. Our goal is that by the end of this week you will be able to identify actions for groups moving through the stages of group development, and you will be able to explain the influence of informal group membership on group behavior. This week we will be reading the following chapters in our textbook, Group Behavior in Organizations. Chapter 3, Interpersonal Relations, Communication, and Group Effectiveness, and Chapter 4, Diversity. In Week 2, you will have 3 assignments, 2 discussion forums, and 1 written assignment. Your initial posts to the discussions are due by day 3, that's Thursday, and your replies are due by Monday, and your written assignment is due on day 6. In your written assignment for this week, you will be discussing how destructive communication affects group members and group interaction. Such destructive communication is vividly depicted in the film The 33, and this is a dramatization of the Chilean miners who were trapped underground. And the assignment encourages you to track down this film and watch it if you can, to see examples of how communication can either help or hurt a situation, especially a desperate situation. And although most of us will never find ourselves in a life or death situation like that, there are similarities between what happened underground with the Chilean miners and what happens in our organizations every single day. For this assignment, you're asked to describe a work interaction in which you witnessed or experienced one-upping, withdrawing, bottling negative emotions, lashing out unexpectedly, engaging in personal insult rather than addressing a problem, or insistence on handling issues alone. Be sure to define the terms you are using for this example. So when you give the example, and you can pick one of these terms, make sure that you identify and define those terms, and I encourage you to cite the textbook to do that. Next, you're asked to explain the responses this behavior created in the interaction and how you or the other person reacted in turn. Now, I encourage you to try to apply this assignment to your working situation if you can, but if you can't think of a personal work situation where one of these events occurred, you might want to go ahead and view the film, The 33, and use an example from that film. Given what you've learned in this chapter, discuss what you would have done differently in that interaction and what advice you would give others in a similar situation. If you choose to use the film, discuss what the miners did to resolve their communication and work through group conflict. Now, as always, you need to use at least 3 sources in addition to the course text. I do expect you to cite the textbook, but you need 3 additional scholarly sources in addition to the course text. And of course, your paper needs to follow APA guidelines as outlined in the Ashford Writing Center, and you can access that from the assignment page itself. This is my suggested outline for your assignment this week. I expect an APA cover page on the first page of the assignment. The next page will begin the body of your paper. You can start with an introduction with a clear thesis statement that's making your case, and that should be about 1 paragraph. You can then have a section for the problem or the situation overview and describe where you found these communication bottlenecks or issues or any of the terms that you selected from the assignment description. So give a nice summary of what created that situation and how the organization found itself in that situation. Your next section can be the communication issues that you are identifying, and that's where you're going to name them and define them. I suggest citing the course text, but again, you'll need to cite 3 other sources. And that can be about 2 or 3 paragraphs. Then you can have a section describing the responses that were created because of those communication issues. And again, 2 or 3 paragraphs. And finally, a conclusion paragraph with a restatement of your thesis. Your last page, of course, should be your APA references. As always, I'm here to help and support you. If you have any questions, please contact me via the Canvas inbox. Thank you and have a great week.